2.5 hours behind schedule. So my mother's having some medical procedures, and I am headed back to my hometown of Enterprise, Alabama, to go be with her while all this is going on. So I decided, man, to break up the monotony and the boredom of this 6-hour trip that I'm making, I'll just make a video, and while I'm at my hometown, I'll show you guys some, around my hometown, let you guys kind of see where I grew up, just to get, some different content for the YouTube channel here. So, everything has been working against me. To start off, about 3 weeks ago, some young punk kid decided it would be a good idea to run into the side of my truck. So my truck's in the body shop, and unfortunately I don't have rental car insurance, so I haven't been able to rent a car. My insurance company won't provide me with a car, right? So I've been having to drive my wife's Jeep, and my wife has been driving our backup Jeep. So my mom has had this medical procedure scheduled for a couple of months now, and I was like, no problem, I'll just rent a car and I'll go home. So I got online and rented a car. Everything fine, right? Well, what happened was I got a call this morning from the car rental place, and was like, hey man, we know that you rented a car and everything a long time ago, but we don't have any. And as a matter of fact, there are no cars in the Nashville area to be rented. Why is that? Well, that's because it's a freaking holiday. It's Labor Day weekend, so all the cars in Nashville are rented out. Wife and I looked all over the place, can't find one, and even if you could, the only place that you would be able to find one would be at the airport, which those rates are almost double what you get anywhere else. And you add on top of that the fact that it's a last minute car rental, and that almost doubles the rate again. So you're paying like 2 or 2.5 times the rate of a normal rental car to rent. So therefore I am stuck in my wife's 2007 Jeep Wrangler, which is the most uncomfortable vehicle to make a 6-hour trip in ever. Not to mention the fact that it is dangerous. This is a dangerous vehicle to drive, and I do not like driving it. Why is it dangerous? Well, it's narrow, so Jeeps are notorious for flipping, and just the slightest thing goes wrong. You hit the bump at the right angle, going at the right speed, and you can flip over in a heartbeat. Second, this thing has no play near the steering wheel, so just the slightest touch of the wheel makes the Jeep move. So you have to basically do a death grip with 2 hands most of the time on this Jeep. Add to that the fact that the shocks on this thing are shot, so every time you hit a bump, you feel it from your coccyx all the way up through your spine to the base of your skull, and it just jars everything that you have. And if you hit the bump at the right speed, at the right angle, the Jeep rocks back and forth like that, and it bottoms out like bam, like someone hit it with a sledgehammer, and then it starts rocking, and it starts doing all this, going all over the road, so you have to have a death grip on the steering wheel just to maintain control over the thing. Now, this is a manual Jeep. It's a 6-speed manual, which is not a problem. I enjoy driving a manual until you get into Nashville stop-and-go traffic. When you get into Nashville stop-and-go traffic, it really, really sucks. But I am outside of Nashville now on I-65 South, so hopefully everything will be fine with that. Also, This thing is a soft top, and it leaks like the Titanic when it rains. And when you get up to interstate speed, 70, 75 miles an hour, the wind noise is so horrendous that you can't even hear the radio or even have a conversation if there's anyone with you. So that's why I'm speaking loud. You can probably hear the wind noise right now. And speaking of the radio and air conditioning, those are the only two luxuries that this thing has. There's no cruise control. It's an automatic, soft top, crank windows. The radio has a busted CD player in it, so you can't even listen to a CD. And like I said, it's just dangerous to drive. Super uncomfortable. My sciatica is already kicking in. This thing just wasn't made for long distance driving. But it's been reliable ever since she bought it in 2007. It's been reliable. Now, one interesting thing about this Jeep is, even though it's a 2007, it only has 150,000 miles on it, so it's not like she drives it a lot. But 2007 was the only year that Jeep made a two-wheel drive Jeep. And I know they sold at least one because my wife bought it. So she's got this Jeep that's a two-wheel drive Jeep, 6-speed manual, has no power whatsoever. Zero power on this thing. So you can't like pull out in front of somebody and just like speed off because you're going to get killed. They'll run into you because you can't speed off because it has zero power on the engine. Even though it's a six-liter engine, or 6-cylinder engine, you're not gonna get anywhere fast on it. So, like I said, 1 year, 2007, Jeep thought it would be a good idea for whatever reason to make a two-wheel drive Jeep. I don't know why. So my wife has gotten this thing stuck at least 3 times, and every time she gets it stuck in the mud, and she's had to have it towed out of the mud. A Jeep had to get it towed out of the mud because it's a two-wheel drive. So, like, the tow truck drivers or the people that they hooked it up to their 4-wheel drive Jeep and everything is like, how can you get a Jeep stuck? She's like, well, it's a two-wheel drive. It doesn't have 4-wheel drive. And they're like, no, you're just a stupid girl. It has 4-wheel drive. You just don't know it. And she's like, no, I'm telling you, it's only a 2-wheel drive vehicle. So they're like, yeah, I'm a man. Let me get in and show you how to operate this 4-wheel drive Jeep. So they get in and they start looking around. They're like, well, where's the 4-wheel drive? She's like, it doesn't fucking have one. It's a 2-wheel drive Jeep. And like, that's impossible. Jeep doesn't make 2-wheel drive vehicles. Yes, they do. In 2007, and they sold one of them to me. So it's crazy. But anyway, yeah, so I'm going to be talking to the camera a lot, going down the road. I'm running about 2.5 hours behind because of issues today. Everything that could possibly work against me has been going against me. The main thing was the fact that the car rental company was like, not renting you a car today, sorry, even though you already booked it. And you can still go online right now, even though there's no cars available in Nashville. You can go onto any car rental website and they'll book you a car right now. But they won't give you one. Crazy. So, yeah, I'm running about 2.5 hours behind schedule. I'm on I-65 South right now, headed towards Alabama. Yeah, I'll probably be talking to you guys off and on for the next 6 hours or so, just to have something to do because it's going to be a long trip. Anyway, we'll talk to you later. That's all for now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are about to enter the great state of Alabama the Beautiful. There it is. Welcome to Sweet Home, Alabama. Here we are. Yeah, it's kind of like getting in a time capsule and going back to the 18th century. women have little to no rights, especially to their own bodies. And you can't really do anything without the approval of the church. We're in the Bible Belt, deep in the heart of the Bible Belt. So, yeah, I'm about 100 miles north of Birmingham right now, and just not a lot to see here on I-65. It's mainly just asphalt and trees and cars. And that's really about it. There's Huntsville coming up here in a little bit, but they took the rocket down, so there's even nothing to show you there either. So we'll be stopping at Buc-ees though, and I'm gonna get some shots of that. So yeah, that is the great state of Alabama coming into it. We'll see you guys later with some more boring footage. All right, well, we are about to enter a southern version of Mecca. There's like Jesus, and then on one side of Jesus, like the left hand of Jesus, there's Buc-ees. And we're about to enter Buc-ees, so I'm on the exit, and I'm gonna flip the camera around here so you guys can see the entrance to Buc-ees as we're coming into it. In case you've never ever experienced Buc-ees or know what Buc-ees is, it is like one of the largest convenience stores slash gas stations slash, oh, I'm in the wrong lane, that's right, slash I don't know, it's just like a, people make pilgrimages to this place. It's amazing. It's almost like a mini Walmart. That's how I would describe it. It's like a mini Walmart. They have some of the best barbecue brisket sandwiches around. It's fresh, and they have these things called Buc-ee nuggets, which are delicious snack foods. Oh my God. Okay, so we're gonna be coming in here. I just gotta be careful because it got in the wrong lane, but that's all right. I'm gonna remedy that right now. Here we go. All right, there's Buc-ees. I don't know how well you can see it, but there it is. And we're coming into it. Look at all, like everybody that was in the right lane is headed to Buc-ees. And you got to be careful when you get off here because there's people coming off the exit into Buc-ees just screaming, trying to get into this place. They can't get here fast enough. I'm telling you, Southern people love them some Buc-ees. Well, this is a chain that started out west. I want to say Texas maybe, and has slowly migrated its way to the east. And, let's see if I can find a spot. That's going to be the challenge now, is finding a spot. Look at the gas pumps. I mean, just a ton of gas pumps, man. It's really amazing. Oh, yep, I see a spot. Luckily for me, I have a special permit to park right in the front here. Looky loo. You couldn't ask for anything better than this as far as a parking spot goes. All right. I'll see about filming the inside. I don't know. We shall see. All right, guys. We're about to walk into Buc-ees here. I'm not going to film too much because I don't want to look too freaking weird. But look at that place out there. That is Buc-ees. Open the doors to Mecca. Yep. So you name it. You want to go Christmas shopping and buy all your Christmas presents here? Clothes, hats, purses, electronics. They've got it. This is Buc-ees. I'm just going to take a quick tour around just so you guys can see. It smells delicious in here. You guys have never smelled Buc-ees. I got a tortilla factory. Where you can get fudge and nuts.
And here's the Texas barbecue brisket right there. Look at all that Texas barbecue brisket sandwiches. Holy crap. There are the Buc-ee, I call them Buc-ee nuggets. They're beaver nuggets. Those are so delicious. When you come in here and literally just spend hours upon hours in this place. They have the cleanest restrooms in the whole entire world. People love their restrooms. I'm not filming in the restrooms. But they make their own like trail mixes and barbecue sauces and jellies, jams, you name it. But yeah, this is Buc-ee's. Thanks to a southern version of Mecca. Hi guys, we'll see you later.
Okay, so just got out of Buc-ee's. I got me some beaver nuggets, white cheddar, which is my wife's favorite, sea salted caramel, which is my favorite, and then just a bag of the regulars. And I got some fire roasted salsa, which is really good. 2, not 1, but 2 chopped brisket sandwiches. And I got them not because I need them, because I wanted them. I'm not even gonna eat them now. I'm gonna eat at a barbecue place, which is right outside of Birmingham. I'm waiting to eat until I get there. But I got the 2 sandwiches because I wanted to have something for myself and my mother to eat for dinner tonight. So why not just get some delicious chopped barbecue sandwiches while I'm at Buc-ee's? So yeah, now I'm gonna get back on the road and I'll have more boring footage for you later on. Deuces, we'll see you. All right, coming into the big city of Birmingham. Gonna flip the camera around, let you see. Alabama's probably, I guess, biggest city, or one of the biggest cities. Get to see it from the point of view of the interstate I-65 south. There's not a lot of good here in Birmingham. Hate to say that, but it's true. I gotta stick on 65 south towards Montgomery. There's the downtown area down there. 65 south heading this way. Not a lot to see. I mean, don't get me wrong, Alabama is a beautiful state. It's just that the parts that we're traveling through does not necessarily represent that. But it is what it is. So my next stop is going to be at Blue Moon Barbecue, which is just south of Birmingham. Some of the best barbecue in the land. The land. I can't wait to eat there. I have been starving since Buc-ee's, and I usually don't like to eat lunch this late because it's almost 20 minutes after 1, and it's probably going to be closer to 2 o'clock by the time I eat lunch. But it's the only time I get to eat barbecue at Blue Moon Barbecue, so I'm a-going, and I'm gonna get me some barbecue. Flip it around real quick. And yep, that's it for now. Next stop, Blue Moon Barbecue. Hi everybody, I have made it to Full Moon Barbecue. There it is in all its glory. Some of the best ribs I have ever eaten in my whole entire life. And I'm about to go in there and partake. I cannot wait. I'm starving. I have deprived myself of food. And it is time. First of all, I gotta throw this away. It is time for me to get fed. I love this place. Absolutely love it. I'm not gonna film too much because there are people in here, so here you go. Nope. My food is here. I can't wait to dig into this deliciousness. Got a classic rib plate. Looks like about 4 bones there. Actually 5. Some mac and cheese, collard greens,
little piece of cornbread and 2 slices of white bread and a big old sweet tea, Southern style. I am going to dig in because I'm freaking starving. I'll see you on the flip side of lunch.
All right, well, I have made it to the state capital of Montgomery, Alabama. This town is a veritable shithole. A lot of crime and violence here, as you can imagine, it being the state capital. However, it is still not that bad as far as, you know, comparing it to cities up north. Let me flip the camera around. So I'm actually traveling the back roads. This is called Taylor Road here. This is like a shortcut through all of the main traffic. It's still gonna be a minute or 2 before I make it home. I'm like 3/4 of the way there. About another hour or so longer if I continue to stay behind this slow ass popo here. But that's all right. So yeah, I know I said this place was a shithole, but this is not one of the shithole areas. I used to work in this city back in the day, and this section right here is very nice. Of course, it's right off of the interstate. It's a cut through for 65, or off of 65, and I'm headed towards State Highway 167 now, which will take me south to home before much longer. So yeah, I'm getting there. Next, let's see, flip the camera back around. Next city I'm going to show you will be Troy, Alabama. That's home to one of the major universities in the state of Alabama, Troy University. Big in the football scene over the last several years. Troy is a very small town, not a lot to see, as in zero. That'll be the next thing that you get to see as I'm passing through Troy, Alabama. So that'll probably be about another 30 minutes or so from now. And until then, see ya. Well, all right. So as promised, here we are in Troy, Alabama. There's not a lot to see here. If you blink, you'll miss it. So I'm gonna turn the old camera around real quick, just in time for the light to turn green. So Troy is about 30 or 35 miles away from my hometown of Enterprise, Alabama, and that'll be the next stop. One thing that, or a couple of things that people don't know about Troy, Alabama, besides that it is home to Troy University, is that it's also home to a Lockheed Martin plant and a Sikorsky plant. And it also is the home of the Pioneer Museum of Alabama. Not a huge tourist attraction, but just a couple of little interesting tidbits about Troy, Alabama. And I am on, I misspoke earlier, I said I was headed towards 167. This is actually Highway 231. I'm going to turn on Highway 167 towards home here in just a few minutes. And I wanted you to get a chance to see the big town of Troy, or as we locals call it, T-Roy. You know, there's not a whole lot to see. Of course, you know, I am traveling. This is not interstate, this is state highway. So there's not a lot to see here, as we are now stuck at another traffic light. So yeah, not a lot going on. I think I'll let me spin the camera back around. I think whenever I get onto 167 here in a few minutes, I'll give you some shots of the southeast Alabama countryside. So this is from Troy. Next stop, Enterprise. Okay, so as promised, I'm going to show you some, I don't know what to say, just some of the lay of the land here on 167 coming into Enterprise. I'm about 20 miles away from my hometown. I'll flip the camera around real quick so you can see. I don't know how well you can see, but this is some of the countryside where I grew up. There is nothing out here, boy. It is nothing but trees and a bunch of mobile homes with cars that are up on cinder blocks. And for some reason, people like to have their own personal little junkyard in their front yard. I never understood that. Never understood why people want to have a junkyard in their front yard, but that's real popular around this area. And if you see right here, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it, but this says Enter Coffee County. That is my home county, Coffee County, Alabama. I am so close to being home, 20 miles, maybe a little bit less from where I need to be. And let's see what's over this hill here. Oh, I know, a whole lot of nothing. Lots of nothing. Yep. Nothing but nothing out here. This is rural Alabama. But there are places that are more rural than this. Trust me, this is nothing compared to other places in southeast Alabama. Yeah, pretty soon you're going to get to see where I grew up, or as they say here in the deep south, where I growed up. So let's see what I'm about to come up on right here. What's familiar here? Oh, more nothing. Yep, lots more nothing. All right, spin her back around. Okay, that's about it. And next time you see anything, it will be from my hometown of Enterprise in just a few minutes. See ya. Well, you know, as soon as I said the next time you saw me or heard from me would be from my hometown, and it wasn't even like 2 minutes later, I run across all this. Don't know what's going on here. Road construction, maybe? I see a cop car, and I see what looks to be road construction stuff up ahead. And yeah, I do believe it is road construction. I was hoping that it would be a horrible car crash that I could show you guys up close in person, but no, it's just road construction. So spin the camera back around. No excitement there. All right, we'll see you in Enterprise. Okay, still haven't reached Enterprise yet. A little closer, but I wanted to show you this. So there are two things that my area of the world, Southeast Alabama, is famous for. Number one is we are known as the peanut capital of the world. We're famous for peanuts. Number two, chicken. And I just got behind what is known down here in the South as a chicken truck. I'm going to speed up a little bit so you can get a little bit more bird's eye view, no pun intended, of those chickens. Now, see those poor chickens? Feathers flying everywhere, chickens all hunkered down, all trapped in cages, shoved up on each other. Don't get me wrong, I love chicken. Chicken is delicious. But what I hate is the way that we treat our chickens before they become delicious food on our plate. So if you ever wonder how your chicken gets from point A to point B, it's not always dead and frozen. They got to get to a slaughterhouse somewhere from the farm, and that, my friends, is how it happens on the dreaded chicken truck. And look at how those chickens are treated. It is freaking sad. Very, very sad. I hate that for the chickens. So, yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a shot of that because I passed by. I probably didn't get too much of it because it's hard for me to film and drive at the same time. But, all right, so one more time. Next stop, Enterprise. All right, so as promised, finally, I've been saying this for forever, it seems like. Finally made it to Enterprise. I just rolled into town, and I'm sitting here at the traffic light that's on one of the main roads in town, getting ready to turn onto it. This is the 84 bypass, as they call it. And hopefully this thing will turn green here in just a second, and I'll be able to show you a little bit of my hometown as like a little windshield survey. So I'm gonna turn it, flip it around real quick here, wait for the light to change, and we'll be going through here in just a minute. He's just gonna go anyway. He decided to run the red light. Happens a lot down here in the South. People don't know what the hell they're doing. Got that on video. One thing that would have been greater than that is if someone would have ran into his dumb ass. I could have put that on Wham Bam dash cam. So yeah, this is my hometown where I grew up, graduated high school. Enterprise, Alabama. Same thing as with everywhere else in Alabama. Not a lot to see, at least not right through here anyway. The good thing about this place is that we're only 90 miles from Panama City Beach. And there was a wreck. Yeah, okay. Alright. Wish I could say there was a lot to narrate, but there really isn't coming down through here. I said this was called the 84 bypass. It's also known as the Boll Weevil Circle. And I know you're thinking, what the hell is a boll weevil? Well, that's one of the things that my hometown is famous for. Guinness Book of World Records famous, actually. And I'll be talking a little bit more about that later. What my plan is, in the next couple of days, I'm going to take you around town and show you some of my hometown, some of the things we're famous for, or the one thing I guess that we're famous for. Have you ever heard of Sessions Peanut Oil? They used to have a Sessions Peanut Oil plant here in Enterprise. I don't think that it is in business anymore. I think it closed several years ago. But man, when Sessions was when they were making the peanut oil, man, all the downtown area smelled like peanuts. It was freaking awesome. It smelled like roasted peanuts. Never forget that. Alright, so coming up here at this next intersection, it's the intersection of Boll Weevil Circle and Rucker Boulevard. So my hometown is attached to an army post. Fort Rucker used to be called Fort Rucker. Now it's called Fort Novacell, thanks to all the cancel culture and all that sorts of good stuff. I understand that the name change is gonna happen again back to Fort Rucker, but we'll see. So anyway, this is my old stomping grounds. I grew up right off of this road here, and I'm about to shut this thing down now because I'm not going to show the outside of my mom's home or the route to it, just for privacy's sake. So yeah, I'm going to call it good for now, and I'll see y'all again in a little while. Okay guys, well, it's a couple days later. Everything went fine, my mom's procedure. She came out of it really well, so good news all around. Now I'm just, as promised, driving around my hometown. I'm gonna show you some dashboard video of my hometown, and I am gonna be headed towards the downtown area, and when I get down there, I'll show you some shots of Main Street, small town, Southeast Alabama, and the Boll Weevil Monument. So stay tuned. I'll be back in just a minute. All right, so now I'm back on track. So I'm going to show you where my dad used to have his place of business, the auto repair shop. Man, this place has seen its better days for sure. Wow. Oh, they revamped that park. Okay, that's cool. Tell you, people, right here where it says One Shot Tire and Auto, that used to be my dad's place, and it used to be called Barnes Automotive Service, and he sold it and then died. So tragedy. Yeah, I worked at that auto repair shop for a while. Oh, there's a putt-putt golf place. That's kind of new. Wow. That's kind of the downtown area. I'm gonna go back and film some more like B-roll stuff. I want to go by and see my grandparents' old house and spend a lot of time there. And let's see, make sure I'm not gonna die here. Okay, here we go. Here we go, people. And yeah, I'll show you my grandparents' old house and stuff like that. I even go by my old high school that doesn't exist anymore because it got destroyed in a tornado several years ago. So I don't know. We'll see. Deuces. All right. So here I am. This is called Ouida Street. O-U-I-D-A. And right down here is where my grandparents used to live. Interesting little fact here. This house right here, this rundown little house right there, that's where Mrs. Sandman's grandparents lived. Kind of strange. Think about how we got this connection. All right, so I don't know if you can see it, but right there, this says Howell Street. And it's named after my grandfather. His name was Relis E. Howell. He was a brick mason here in Enterprise for decades. And if you had a brick house, he probably bricked it. And that was my grandparents' house right there. I spent a lot of time in that house. But Christmas and holidays, the porch is not as high as what I remember it. But man, I had some great times there. So I'm gonna try and get a shot. I don't know how well you can see it out. This is probably not, but right up there where it says Howell Street was named after my granddad. Feel pretty proud about that. I'm gonna make a loop around. Probably should have turned the other way, but that's okay. So anyway, yeah, I just wanted you guys to see that part. And down here used to be one of 2 radio stations that we had in Enterprise. And holy shnikes, is it still there? Is it? That was it right there. B96 or Q97 as it was later. I don't know what it is now, but my sister worked there for a little while. Yep. All right. I'll show you some more of the downtown with a close-up of the Boll Weevil here later. Deuces, peeps. Okay, so here I am back downtown in Enterprise, and I'm at the Boll Weevil Monument, which is right over there. All right. So here is the marker, and it says Boll Weevil Monument, December 11, 1919. In profound appreciation of the boll weevil and what it has done as the herald of prosperity, this monument was erected by the citizens of Enterprise, Coffee County, Alabama.
Alabama Historical Association, 1974. So, the story of this monument goes like this. In the late 1800s, this area of southeast Alabama was known for growing cotton, and cotton crops was the staple. That was how everyone made their money, that's how everyone made their living, and cotton crops were all over the place. And then one day, or one year, there was an invasion of boll weevils. B-O-L-L, boll weevil. Now, boll weevils just so happen to love cotton. And guess what? The boll weevil infestation devastated the cotton crops in southeast Alabama. Devastated it to the point that people did not know if they were going to be able to survive or not, because their cotton crops were ruined and they couldn't make any money. So somebody had a super genius idea. Everybody was going, what are we gonna do? Oh no, we're so scared. Our lives are ruined. Someone had an idea of, hey, why don't we try to grow peanuts, excuse me. And no one else had any better ideas. So they're like, okay, let's plant some peanuts. And lo and behold, it just so happens that the soil down here and the climate is perfect for growing peanuts. And the peanut crops proliferated and everybody got rich. So now all the cotton farmers turned into peanut farmers and got rich. And this place became known as the peanut capital of the world. Not just America, not just the South, but the peanut capital of the world. In fact, we used to have, if you've ever cooked with Sessions peanut oil, we used to have a Sessions peanut oil plant right here in my hometown. It was like the main Sessions peanut oil plant. And when they were roasting those peanuts to get it ready to turn into oil, the whole downtown area down here smelled like roasted peanuts. Man, it was the greatest smell. It was great. But anyway, getting back to the monument. So everybody got rich off of peanuts, and it was such a wonderful thing that this happy accident happened. Somebody was like, hey, we really need to figure out how we can honor this boll weevil, because if it wasn't for the boll weevil, we would not be rich peanut farmers. So they got together at the city hall one day, and somebody decided to let's do a statue. So now we have a monument of the boll weevil, because it devastated our cotton crops, turned us to peanut crops, and everybody got rich. Of course, you can see how well that worked, because this is not the epitome of richness down here, right? But anyway, that's what happened. That's the story and the history of the boll weevil monument. And we are, in fact, in the Guinness Book of World Records, my hometown, as the only city that's ever erected and dedicated a monument to an insect. You can look it up. Anyway, so I'm gonna cross the street. I'm gonna give you a close-up of Mr. Boll Weevil here in just a few minutes. All right, here we go. We're crossing. There is the famous, world famous Boll Weevil monument right there. I can't really stay too much because, stay and get a picture of it too much because it's in the middle of the freaking street. So there we go. There's the world famous, or there was the world famous Boll Weevil monument. And that's why everything around here is named Boll Weevil that, Weevil this. We have, I told you coming in, there's Boll Weevil Circle. There's the Weevil Nut Company coming right up here. There's just all kind of Boll Weevil stuff. There's t-shirts with the Boll Weevil on it in the monument. There's all kinds of stuff like that. It's kind of our little claim to fame, you know. But yeah, this is the downtown area of Enterprise, Alabama, and there's the history of the Boll Weevil. A little story about, see that building over there says Yancey Parker's. Yancey Parker was a dude that had clothing stores here in Enterprise, and he had a couple of them. This was high-end clothing stuff, and if you wanted high-end suits and clothes and stuff, that was the place you went, was Yancey Parker's. Still in business, run by his family. He's long since gone. So the place is full now. There was at one time there was like half of these buildings were closed. There was nothing here. They were just abandoned. And there were about 10 years ago, there was a revival of the downtown area, and things really started picking up as far as businesses and how things operated down here. And now it's full of shops and restaurants and stuff like that. And way off in the distance down there, I don't know if you can see, but that brown building where it has the American flag in front of it, and there's some ambulances out there. That's the first ambulance service that I ever worked for when I was working as a paramedic. You know, I still am a paramedic, but that's the first ambulance service I ever worked for in my hometown. Yeah, so pretty interesting stuff as far as I'm concerned. You may find it boring, but you know, whatever. So yeah, there's a little bit of a walkthrough of the downtown area, my hometown and Enterprise. So one of the things that as I was headed back to the car, one of the things that I found that I thought was interesting was this right here, the Boll Weevil Soap Company. It's actually a very popular soap and shampoo and, you know, homemade body wash, stuff like that, oils, candles, incense. It was started by my cousin Rosemary Howell in her home back in the 90s, the early to mid 90s, and she got so good at making soap and stuff that she opened up her own business, and it was in this old house. And eventually, anyway, she wound up selling it, made a shit ton of money, and retired. And whoever owns it kept the name Boll Weevil Soap Company. And yeah, luxury body care right here in my hometown. So if you want some good soap and lotion and body wash and stuff, go to the Boll Weevil Soap Company's website and order you some stuff. It's good quality stuff. I highly recommend it. All right, now I'm standing in front of the historic Rawls Hotel. Here's the historic marker, Rawls Hotel. Original two-story brick structure built in 1903 by Japheth Rawls, developer of some of the earliest turpentine plants in Coffee County. The building was remodeled in 1928, and a three-story wing was added by Jesse P. Rawls, founder of the first electric power system in Enterprise. The hotel was the center of business and social gatherings until its closing in the early 1970s. It is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. So this is the main entrance to the Rawls Hotel. It's over 120 years old. And when I was growing up, this place was always empty and run down, boarded up. No one had anything to do with this place. And now, fast forward to I think the early 2000s, somebody bought it, don't know who, and they opened it back up as a hotel. You can see, in there, and restaurant. And it hasn't done very well as a hotel, but now it is I think it still has a couple of like little boutique rooms you can rent, but it's more famous now for its restaurant and event space. They got really good food here. It's so known now just simply as the Rawls. And the place is extremely haunted. There are supposedly children, for whatever reason, that run up and down the hallways at night. You can smell cigar smoke. The ghost of Mr. Rawls has been seen running through walking through the corridors. The basement down here, I don't know if it has one, but supposedly it does, and the basement's really haunted. And when they were renovating and they were hanging new curtains, something kept taking the curtains down. Every time they put new drapes up, They would come back in the next day, and the drapes would be found to be on the floor, like someone had taken lifted the rod up off of the rod hangers and just threw it down on the floor. So I've never done an investigation in there, but I certainly would love to. Maybe one day I'll get around to it. Yeah, but that's the historic Rawls Hotel. I'm gonna walk around. It's raining. I'm gonna walk around to the back and get a shot of what it looks like on the back entrance, because the back entrance is really, I said that was the main entrance. The back entrance is really the main entrance of the hotel these days. So, gonna have to come all the way down here. God, I hope it doesn't start raining any harder than what it is, because I have no umbrella, totally unprepared. What would you expect? Anything less? No. So you walk down through this alley, and here, coming up on the right, is the historic Rawls Hotel on the back side. There it is in all its glory. I have eaten dinner here a few times. My mom loves this place. Eaten dinner here a few times, and it is pretty damn good. I've been to a couple of events here. My wife had a high school reunion here one time. But check this out. You're talking about just elegance and coolness. Here you go. Look at that. Huh? So these wings here were the ones that were added after the hotel was built. So even though this is the back side of the hotel, this is now the main entrance. And you just, there you go. Historic Rawls Hotel. Okay, I'm trying to be quiet. I just stepped inside the hotel. So the back entrance, which is now the main entrance, is right there. And this is what you're greeted to when you come in. A piano player, lounge area with some leather couches. That way goes up to what used to be the hotel rooms. I don't know if they're still available for rent or not. There's an old picture of the Rawls. With the Bow Wheel Monument. Event space. And in here is the dining area. It's a beautiful older building. Lovely, lovely, lovely. You got the exposed brick walls. If you come in, I mean, it's just a beautiful place, and you would not expect there to be, excuse me, someplace like this in my little podunk hometown of Enterprise, Alabama. I mean, look at this lounge. This is like awesome, you know? They've got this so decked out. And in here is the bar area. I mean, who wouldn't want to come and hang out here? You know, have a few drinks, get away from the wife and kids for a little bit. I mean, it's just a beautiful area. Try to be respectful and not film people. Yeah. This is coming up to the front side of the hotel. And this was where I was a few minutes earlier. So, bam. Yeah. And here is I guess that would be like a little private dining area, I'm assuming. I don't know. I mean, check it out though, dude. I mean, this is awesome. This is awesome. Just like a little, this could be like your own little private dining area, you know? And then there's the entrance to the bar that I just showed you. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see in that. Probably not. Yeah, but this is just an amazing place. And I love to come here. The wrought iron is so great. Yeah, so that is the historic Ross Hotel. And there's somebody coming in, so I'm going to call it a second. Let's call it, and that's my tour. Okay, so coming out of the Rawls Hotel, right here behind it is a train museum. If you're into trains, this is the place for you. Now, this has been around for as long as I can remember. I have never, ever been into this place because I don't care about trains. But we have had this here forever. And it is part of the Pea River Historical and Genealogical Society, which Pea River is a famous river that runs in Coffee County, Alabama. Not through Enterprise, but it runs through Coffee County, Alabama. And this too is also on the National Register of Historic Places because it is a train depot built in 1903 with additions in 16 and 97. The first freight shipments and passengers came here on the Alabama Midland Railroad in 1898, immediately after construction of the roadbed. That was also the year when most of the brick business buildings downtown were completed. By 1903, a depot was needed as the transportation focus of this town. Along with the new Rawls Hotel, ding ding, the depot became a gathering place for our citizens. In 1974, the Pea River Historical Society purchased the depot and began operating the Depot Museum. So here you go. So it is closed today. Go figure. I can't imagine that there's a big draw. But it is really open by appointment only, Monday through Thursday. And then Friday and Saturday, it's only open from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Wow. It's not bad. An adult is $5. So for $5, you can come in the Depot Museum. Like I said, I've never been in this place. Grew up here, never been in this place because it never interested me. But yep, so there you can see railroad tracks coming straight through right down here. It doesn't go through the center of downtown, but it is right one street over. There you go. I don't know if that's a dead body or not, and I'm not gonna check. That was the platform. I'm assuming homeless, druggy person, maybe, but could be a dead body. I'm not checking. I don't have anything to do with that. I'm out on that. Now this place right here should be on the National Register of Historic Places, but yet it is not. This is known as the Little Red Schoolhouse by the title. This was the first schoolhouse in Enterprise, Alabama. One room, tiny school shack. And boy, it is dusty and dirty in there. Wow. Look at that. See the old potbelly stove, teacher's desk, students' desks. And that's some history right in there, boy. That is a lot of history in there. Those antiques with those desks and that stove and everything, that's worth something. But yeah, I don't know why this is not a historic landmark, but it should be.